Okay. So here's how we're gonna operate. We're going to take turns. We're gonna go around, and if you have any questions you've identified that you need assistance with, you're not sure about the answers, we will go over them all together. And I think between all of us, we can come up with the right answer. All right. So Justin, let's start with you. Do you have a question on your test that you have a question or three on your test you have questions about?
Let me. So mine is 26 of 75. I'm sure they're not all in the same order, but I'll read it. A1 is fouled in the act of shooting by B1.
Okay.
And an official rules the foul. While A1's tries in flight after A's whistle for B1's foul, B2 is fouled by A2, also ruled upon by an official. A1's try is unsuccessful. Team B is in the bonus. Which of the following is true? And there's A through K.
Right.
These are my favorite ones.
Right, right.
So B1 is excessive personal foul,
Okay, correct.
obviously. A2 is assessed a personal foul.
Okay,
A2 is assessed an intentional foul because the ball became dead after the official whistle for
You hear me?
B1's foul.
okay,
Yeah.
A1 is awarded 2 free throws with players in
Fine.
marked lane spaces. A1 is awarded 2 free throws with no occupied lane spaces. B2 is awarded 2 free throws with players in marked lane spaces. B2 is awarded 2 free throws with no players in marked lane spaces. Any member of Team B is awarded 2 free throws. Following the last free throw, play resumes off the make or miss. Following the last free throw, play resumes with designated spot. Throw in along the end line, and following the last free throw, play resumes with a throw in by Team B at the designated spot at the division line opposite the scorer's table.
okay. So that's quite a bit, right?
It's a little bit.
Hey,
Okay.
Justin, just read the question again so we can make sure we got the right one.
Gotcha. A1 is fouled in the act of shooting by B1.
Okay.
An official rules the foul.
Okay.
A1's tries in flight, and after the whistle for B1's foul, B2 is fouled by A2, also ruled upon by an official. A1's try is unsuccessful. Team B is in the bonus. Which of the following is true?
Okay. So let's walk through it. We know that A1 is fouled first in the act of shooting by B1, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then after the official rules the foul, while A1's try is in flight, which means the ball is not dead, correct?
Right.
Okay. While the ball is in flight, B2 is fouled by A2, also ruled upon by an official. All right, so we have two fouls. Foul on B1. I'm sorry, foul on A1 and a foul on B2. All right, so we know that B1 will be assessed a personal foul. That was the first foul, correct?
Yep.
A2 is assessed a personal foul because the ball is still live. The ball is not dead, correct?
Right.
Okay. So now we have both fouls. And we know that by our procedures, anytime we have fouls in succession, this is not a double foul because they're not fouls against each other.
Right.
I don't know if anyone's noticed, we have gotten rid of that term that used to drive us all crazy, that false double foul thing we used to deal with. Yeah, so we no longer have to worry about that. Now we just adjudicate them in order. So if A1 is fouled, then B2 is fouled. Both of these are live ball fouls. We just adjudicate them in order. So who's going to shoot first?
A1.
That's right. A1 is awarded 2 free throws with no one in occupied lane spaces.
Okay.
And then we adjudicate the next foul, which means B2 is awarded 2 free throws with players in the marked lane spaces.
And then we go off the make or miss.
Correct. Following the last free throw, play resumes off the make or miss. Correct. There you go.
So 1, 2, 3. We got 5 answers are correct on this one.
Correct.
Okay.
A, B,
A, B, E, F, and I, right?
that is correct.
All right.
Yep. All right, good. That's a good question. Because actually, I'd had to do a little research on that one myself, Justin.
Yeah. Don't feel bad, Justin. It was on my
No,
list
not
too.
at all.
With
Not at all.
check.
Yeah, this is my second year in, so when I'm used to the ones that we took, like our state NFHS test this year took me
Yeah,
7 minutes. I made 100 without opening a book.
there you go.
NCAA is not that easy.
It's not the same. It's a different animal.
Yes.
All right, Justin. Do you have another question that you're needing to review?
Let me see if I can find it. Okay. Is this the score is, make sure this is the right one. Yep, the score is tied with 6.1 seconds remaining in the fourth period when A1's unsuccessful try is rebounded by B1, who dribbles twice, then requests and is granted a timeout. Team B coach wishes to advance the ball and is informed by the official since B1 dribbled before the timeout, advancing the ball is not permitted. The game clock shows 2.1 seconds, and the officials use the available courtside monitor to determine whether a timing mistake has occurred. Replay determines that the official signaled to stop the clock with 3.1 seconds on the game clock before any dribble by B1 occurred. Which of the following is true?
Okay.
So you got the officials may not correct the timing mistake. The officials may correct the timing mistake. Team B may advance the ball since replay showed the officials granted the timeout before B1 dribbled, and officials may not use replay to determine whether the player dribbled or passed the ball before granting a timeout. So
Okay.
in my head,
Uh-huh.
you can correct the timing mistake, but you cannot re-referee the play. So you cannot advance because we've already ruled no advance.
That is correct. Yes, sir. That is correct.
Do we have a reference on that one? Because I have one about the timing mistake, but I could not find one about the advancement.
Yes, because that would be in Rule 11. And it's in Rule 11, and we do not have any rule that indicates that we're not allowed to go to the monitor to determine if a team has advanced or not, because that is similar to judgment violation. We can't go to the monitor on violations. So whether they advance or not, that's up to us to determine as officials. Did she pass it? Did she dribble? The timing mistake, yes, we can correct because it's one of our maybes that we can go to the monitor for. Advancing on the ball is not. It's not listed. And if it doesn't say we can do it, that means we cannot do it. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
We also could not find a reference, and we just threw some common sense on it, but sometimes that gets you in trouble as well.
Right, right. And it's pretty much if it doesn't specify that you can, especially when it comes to replay, if it doesn't specify that you can go to replay for this, then I would stay away from the monitor. I would stay from the replay on that in any situation that does not specifically say that we can go for. Because you're right, sometimes we can get ourselves into trouble. All right, that's good. Matthew Mantle.
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you have a question that you need assistance on?
Yeah, I got a few.
Okay.
Let's see. This is the first one. So this one, I think I need more clarification rather than it's same different. But it says the penalty is reached when a team has committed 5 fouls in a quarter. And I feel like I'm just overthinking this, but I can't find anywhere where it says that bonus free throws are the penalty. So to me, it would be the bonus, but I feel like I don't know if I'm just overthinking that on the
You know
test.
what? I love this question because initially, I was just breezing through it. Actually, initially I got it wrong because I'm thinking, yeah, but think about it. We don't we don't ever reach the penalty. We reach the
The bonus.
bonus. Correct.
Okay, so I wasn't just overthinking. I'm glad.
Correct. Correct. Yes. And it's just a matter of verbiage, using correct
Right.
verbiage. Yes.
Yeah. And that tends to get me on this test, so.
There you go. Yeah. So the answer to that question is no.
Okay, I've got another verbiage question.
Okay.
Um, so the question is, with 30.9 seconds remaining on the fourth period, Team A, the home team, scores. The timer fails to stop the clock. B1, who has stepped out of bounds for the throw-in, rolls the ball up the playing court. With the ball at the top of the three-point arc and not having been touched by a player on the court, the officials realized the clock should have stopped for the successful goal. The officials stopped play and placed 30.9 seconds back on the game clock. Substitutes from both teams are awaiting the scores table. How should this resume? Substitutes can't enter the game. So no substitutes may enter.
Mhm.
Team B request and granted a timeout, but advancing the ball is unavailable. Um, Let's see. My question on the verbiage is it says Team B will be awarded the ball for a throw in from any point outside the end line. And to me, that would be correct because we could still run because we stopped because nobody had touched the ball.
Correct.
Okay. That was my main question on that one.
Okay. And what are your other answers?
Uh my other answers are no substitutes may enter and Team B may request and be granted a timeout in the advance the ball.
Correct.
Because
Correct.
they didn't have any advancement yet.
Right. Because the ball, right. Ball was rolling. They hadn't advanced it. We had a timing error.
Right.
And so we took it right. And since no one touched it, I almost gave the answer away. Since it wasn't legally touched, the throw in
Never ended.
ended. Correct.
Right.
Correct. There you go. Good. Good. Do you have another question?
Yeah. Um, okay, so verbiage again. I'm going through all the verbiage ones. It's fun.
Okay.
Which of the following is true regarding items worn on the knee/leg? So my correct answers are any item worn on the knee/leg, except for knee brace, must be white, black, beige, or a color containing the fabric of the game jersey, and the teammates shall wear the same color.
Okay.
I also got a sleeve worn under the knee brace, may be the color of the brace or the color of the knee sleeve worn by teammates. I've also got knee/leg sleeves are not required to be the same color as arm sleeves or headbands.
Okay.
And my question is, I
Mhm.
didn't see anywhere where it says knee braces have to comply with the leg knee sleeve color. But I mean, also in my head, I'm like, well, I mean, we wouldn't really want it to be like bright pink or something, right? So
No,
it's kind of like
we wouldn't
I
care.
didn't find it and I'm curious.
Okay. Does anyone have a rule reference for Matthew regarding the color of the knee braces? Then let me just open up my rule book.
So,
I
Oh,
know
go
it's in
ahead.
so
one
this is the
somewhere.
one, which of the following is true regarding items worn on the knee or leg, or is this a different one?
No, that's the correct one.
That's the
That's the
correct.
correct one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. So does anyone have a rule reference?
Ah, I jotted down two.
Mm-hmm.
One is rule 1-23-6.
Let's see.
One.
Da, 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 da. Okay, supplemental apparel.
3, yep.
Okay.
I think on this one, I highlighted it because there's a difference between, they make a distinct difference between the sleeve and the brace.
Right.
So
Yep.
the brace is the one where um
Was the brace under players' equipment, Rule 1, Section 25?
So I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me admit, James. I'm sorry, James. He's been sitting there for a minute. So do we have a reference, a rule reference regarding the color of the knee brace itself?
Yes, actually, I just answered my own question.
Okay. And where's the
It's in the case book, actually.
okay? There you go. What's
It
the
is AR 1-18, and it's actually in the ruling. The statement in AR 118 is A5 is wearing a blue knee brace, and the ruling is typically, oh wait, no. Knee braces, by general definition, do not have to comply with the color rule.
Okay. That's the ruling. And do they
There we
give
go.
you a reference in the AR?
Maybe I have to flip to the next.
yeah,
Yeah, it's
123.6.
23.
23.6.
It was the same one.
Yeah. 123 Article 6, right?
Yeah,
And once again, if it's not listed, then it doesn't apply. Because we're looking at, we've all read Rule 1, Section 23, Article 6, right?
right.
And it deals with arm sleeve and knee or leg sleeve. But it does not have any reference to the color of the knee brace. So if it's not there, that means it does not apply.
And even in the explanation there, it says, when you're reading the ruling in AR 18, it says this rule applies to anything that is worn on the leg except a knee brace.
There you go. Exactly. And what's really interesting is that our rule book actually used to cover the color of the knee brace, but that has been removed.
So on that one would be a sleeve worn under the knee brace, maybe the color of the brace or the color of the knee leg / knee sleeve worn by teammate. So if your knee brace is pink, your leg sleeve cannot be pink, right?
I'm trying to get back to my test. I had to get out my rule book.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Maybe color of the brace or the color of the leg knee sleeve worn by teammates. So yes, if your brace is pink, your sleeve underneath your brace could be pink. Why?
Because it matches the brace.
It matches the brace and it's all one color. Excellent. All right, Mickey, do you have a question
Wait,
that?
okay, wait. I just want to make sure, because this one,
Mhm.
it says select all the correct answers that apply.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The one that I was struggling with, I'm good
Yeah.
with A, B, C, and D.
Right.
What about E?
A knee leg sleeve may be worn when it's not a permitted color if the medical trainer says it is for medical
I
reasons.
couldn't find that one.
Exactly.
So if we couldn't find it, then the answer is no.
The answer is no, correct.
Okay. Because this is that one. This one for me is gonna be tough. I ain't gonna lie.
Mhm.
Because
So
if I go ask a medical trainer and they say it's required, that's gonna be tough.
All we have to do is just report it to your
Yeah,
son.
we'll let them play and then report it.
Yeah, we let them play, and then we report it to your coordinator or signer, and you let them handle it.
So
Yeah,
we're saying E is not a correct answer.
E
E
is
is
not.
not a correct
Okay.
answer.
Okay.
Good, Mickey. Thank you.
Recording in progress.
Okay. Now, Mickey, do you? Uh-oh, getting some feedback somewhere.
Mhm.
Okay. All right, Mickey, do you have a question that we need to review?
Probably. Give me just 1 sec. Because of course ours are all out of order, so
Right.
all over the place. So, I'm looking for some that I had written to double check. So hold on.
Yep, no hurries. And just FYI, the approach that TC and I take is that when we every year when we get our test, we put it in an Excel format
Mhm.
and we answer it in the order that the test arrives, so we keep so it stays the same order, and then we'll sort it by the question column, so that all the questions are alphabetical, and it makes it easier to search when we're reviewing the exams because everyone's exam is listed a little bit different.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I don't believe we've discussed this one, so if we
Okay.
have, forgive me. So it's with 102 remaining in the fourth period, B1, located in Team B's backcourt, steals the ball from A1. B1 dribbles twice and then passes to B2, who is located in Team B's backcourt. B2 is still holding the ball when, with 58.6 seconds remaining on the game clock, A3 and B3, who are located at the top of the key in Team B's front court, are charged with a double foul. There are 27 seconds on the shot clock.
Mm-hmm.
Which of the following are true?
Okay. So our potential answers are, since B1 has dribbled and passed, Team B has lost the option to advance the ball.
Mhm.
Since A3's foul is part of a double foul, Team B does not regain the option to advance.
Mhm.
Team B may request a timeout and exercise option to advance the ball. As the double foul was committed in Team B's front court, play will resume with the designated spot throw-in to Team B at the nearest spot of the nearest of 4 spots to where the foul occurred. If Team B does not choose to advance, play will resume with a designated spot throw-in nearest to where the ball was located when the foul occurred. If they are not permitted to, or do not choose to advance the ball, Team B would have 10 seconds to gain front court status. If they are not permitted to or do not choose to advance the ball, Team B would have 7 seconds to gain front court status. The shot clock is reset to 30 seconds. The shot clock remains at 27 seconds. Okay, so let's walk through it. With 102 in the fourth period, B1, located in Team B's backcourt, steals the ball from A1. So if they're in their backcourt, it means that's Team A's front court, correct?
Correct.
B1 dribbles twice and then passes to B2, who is also located in Team B's backcourt. B2 is still holding the ball when, with 58.6 remaining on the game clock, A3 and B3, located at the top of the key in Team B's front court, are charged with a double foul. Let's stop there. Whenever we have a double foul, how do we resume play?
POI.
Point of interruption, correct. And in this case, the point of interruption is, where's the ball located?
Backcourt.
Correct. Which means now we're awarding the ball to Team B at a spot in the backcourt according to where the ball was located.
Okay.
And there are 27 seconds on the shot clock. So anytime we go to point of interruption,
POI.
we leave the
It
shot clock
stays
where it is.
Mhm.
Right. But since we're awarding team B a throw-in in the backcourt, they now have 10 seconds, and they can also, since we're awarding them a throw-in in the backcourt, they can do what?
Advance.
Advance. So our answers are C. Team B may request a timeout and exercise the option to advance the ball. E. If Team B does not choose to advance, play will resume with a designated spot throw-in nearest to where the ball was located when the foul occurred. POI. F. If they are permitted or not permitted to or do not choose to advance the ball, Team B would have 10 seconds to gain front court status. And the last one is I. The shot clock remains at 27 seconds because POI. Everybody cool with that? Excellent.
Hold on, Wayne, real quick, just explain to me because I couldn't process it. The double foul.
Mm-hmm.
Because we had a double foul in the front court and it goes back to point of interruption. Why is it throwing in the back court again?
Because that is where the ball was located. We go back to the point where play was stopped.
Okay.
Whenever we go to point of interruption. That's a good question because normally when we have a foul, we put the ball at the spot nearest where the foul occurred, correct?
Correct. So
Correct.
that's why I
Yeah.
kept getting confused about. I'm like, okay, the double foul, it was confusing. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And then that is the exception. Whenever we go to a point of interruption, we go right back to that moment in time when we stop play. And everything stays the same. All right. TC, do you have a question? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Hold on, TC. Mickey, I'm sorry. You
That's
have
all
another-
right. We
yeah,
good.
yeah.
Keep it going. We good. Keep moving. We gonna get to them.
Okay, TC, do you have a question?
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My question is, where did it go? My question. Hold on. Sorry.
I think TC froze.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, there you go.
She
I mean,
froze
I'm-
You
herself.
had you
I'm
stuck like
froze
that for
myself.
a good while. You like
My bad. Okay, here. Thrower in A1, located out of bounds near the lane. Attempt a pass to A2, located in the corner. Defender B1 reaches through the boundary line plane and touches the ball before it crosses the plane and into the playing court. Which of the following is true?
Okay.
Uh,
Oh, go ahead.
okay. And the answer option is team B assess the team technical foul or administrative technical foul, which is not. B is assess the player substitute technical foul. B is assess an intentional foul. If team B had not previously received a warning, one is now issued and put in the scorebook, and the other one is doesn't have to be in the scorebook. And the last one was the official may not rule a foul and issue a warning for the same offense, which I really don't understand what that means.
They're saying
My
that
question,
they're saying that we're
Go
not
ahead.
going to issue a technical foul, but we're just going to issue a warning.
just to issue a warning,
You're right.
which is kind of same as the if TMB has not previously received a warning, why it's now issued and recorded in the official scorebook or not on the scorebook, or
Right.
no matter what, how many times they did, just for the warning. That's what that means.
Oh, I
Hold
wouldn't
up.
say. Okay, yeah, I wouldn't say that it depends on how many times they conducted the act, I wouldn't read that into the answer. It just says that they may not rule a foul, which is
Okay,
a technical foul.
okay. Because everybody does know that if I have the ball and defender touches the ball when I was holding the ball, yes, it's a technical foul.
Mm-hmm.
I'm holding the ball and defender touches me, it's an intentional foul, right? But
Right.
this case, ball is try to pass to the teammate on the court. So ball is already in air.
Mm-hmm.
A1 is not holding the ball. Am I
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Then B1 touches the ball before they come into the, break the sideline or end line, whatever. So if team B has not previously received a warning, one is now issued and recorded in the official scorebook. That's one of the answer
Correct.
So now serves no warning.
because it's one of the delays. So we have to put on the scorebook. And the second one's gonna be technical foul. But I looked the rule book that it said that if the thrower in is holding the ball and touches the ball, it's technical foul. But if it's or A1 throwing to A2, who is also in out of bounds after the made shot, and this
Mhm.
defender tried to reach in, that's technical foul. I
Right.
get that.
Right.
However, there's nothing to throw the ball already onto the court, the players onto the court, and then the defender touches the ball. It's a technical foul. I couldn't find in the rule book.
Okay.
If
So let's do.
somebody found the rule book, just let me know.
So go ahead. I'm sorry. Because I
No,
had
go
a
ahead, Luis.
reference for that too. So that's the one I was struggling with because I'm like, before it used to be team technical, but now where I find the rule book where they're reaching through the throwing boundary and slapping the ball before it's chance to hit the playing court. So I have case A R 1039. Also rule 1012.3.A3, and then rule 4.9.1G,
Right.
and then rule 4.9.2.
Okay. And also Rule 10, Section 12, Article 4G. So let's go to the AR. Okay. And what is your AR reference, Sharice?
10 dash 39.
1039.
Mhm.
Okay.
It's in that highlighted section right there.
Okay. All right. After field goal, AR 1039, which is on page 99. After a field goal by B1 with 2 minutes left to play, B2 reaches through the inline plane and slaps the ball from the hands of thrower A1, or touches the ball as it is passed between teammates who are both out of bounds along the inline after the score, or touches the release throw-in before it crosses the boundary line plane, or 2, after a warning, B2 prevents the ball from being promptly put in play by slapping the loose ball away. Okay, ruling in 1. A player substitute technical foul shall be charged to B2. This act shall also necessitate a warning to Team B if one has not been previously issued for reaching through the boundary plane. Of course, in 2, a team technical foul should be charged to Team B since Team B has already been warned for this type of delay. When throwing in A1 extends the ball through the inline plane into the playing court and B2 slaps the ball from the hand, or A1 without breaking the plane of the inside edge of the inline, B2 has not committed a violation because the ball is in play once it crosses the inline. So in essence, if a player reaches the ball, and we used to talk about this when we were going through our high school rules, if they reach the ball across the inline, the throw in, so the ball is in play, the defender can hit the ball, tie the ball up, can touch the ball, correct?
Yes.
According to our AR, if the ball has not crossed the inside of the boundary line plane for the inline or the sideline, the defender cannot touch the ball. And our rule references are Rule 10, 12, 4G, and Rule 10, Section 12, Article 3, A4. Does that answer your question, TC?
Hang on. So 10, 12. Reaching through the throwing boundary line point and touching or pass to a teammate outside the boundary line. Or it's being passed toward the is that the new thing? So maybe I was looking at the old rule book. Yeah, that's clear.
Yeah,
I'm good. So,
there you go. There you go.
When I was looking at the rule book, it was not saying for this pass through it. So it's the answer is player substitute technical foul, and then if it's not previously warned, it's gonna be on the scorebook. Those two are the answers.
That is correct.
Okay.
And you know,
I'm clear.
notice in the AR, that part where it says touches to release throw in before it crosses the boundary line is highlighted in blue.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So they changed it.
They
I
changed
was
it, right.
maybe looking at this old one.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's a new one, but it's old one.
Right.
Okay, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay, good. Excellent. All right, Justin, do you have another question you'd like for us to look up?
Of course, let me find it again.
Okay.
I think I've got this one right. I actually have, I know on my test, not on y'all's, but on my question 58 and 59 are exactly the same, which kind of throws me off. Maybe I'll answer one way and one the other. 50 shot here, but near the end of the fourth quarter with the score tied, A1's try for goal in the corner is released near the expiration of the time on the game clock. Time expires while the try is in flight. Before it enters the basket, the try is successful. The officials use available replay system to determine that the try was released before zeros on the game clock, but the last foot of the shooter was touching out of bounds with 0.02 seconds on the game clock before the foot left the floor, which is the new thing we can review this year.
Right.
Which of the following statements are true? The officials cannot penalize the out of bounds violation. The goal counts. Team A wins the game. We can now review the out of bounds. The officials cancel the goal. Play continues with overtime. No, the officials cancel the goal. Play resume with the throw in by Team B from the designated spot where A1 was out of bounds. The game clock is set to 0.2 seconds. Team B may use a timeout to advance the ball to either 28-foot spot on the front court. When the officials cancel the goal, play resumes with a throw in by Team B, designated spot where A1 was out of bounds. Game clock is set to 0.2 seconds. Team B may not use a timeout to advance the ball to either 28-foot spot on the floor. And I've got C.
Okay. You know, and this new rule, me personally, I've struggled with it a little bit myself because of how it is written. And I listened to John on the NCAA call today, as a matter of fact. And the way he explained it is, first of all, we have to have a successful basket. Second, there have to be zeros on the game clock. Third, the foot has to be out of bounds and has to be the last place it touched when the ball is released. In this case, and that we actually have three questions. Well, let me rephrase it. On my test, I have three almost identical questions dealing with this. And in this question, it says that The official used available replay system and determined that the try was released before zeros on the game clock and observed the right foot of the shooter touched out of bounds with 0.4 seconds on the game clock, but then touched the playing court before A1 lifted the right foot to shoot with 0.2 seconds on the game clock.
This one says the last foot.
Yes.
The one I'm looking at says the last foot of the shooter was touching out of bounds.
Correct. So the right foot was your question is the right foot being the last foot in contact with the floor?
Mine doesn't say right or left. It just says the officials used available replay system to determine that the try was released before the zeros on the game clock, but the last foot of the shooter was touching out of bounds.
There you go.
With 0.02 seconds. That's how come it's the last foot.
So I actually have both of those questions on my test.
Right. And I have three. I have three of them
back to
almost
back.
identical.
I've got 3 or 4.
Right. And Justin's question is the only one where the officials can go back and cancel the goal and play resumes with a throw-in by Team B from a designated spot where A1 was out of bounds. The game clock is set to 0.2 seconds. Team B may use a timeout to advance the ball to either 20-foot spot in the front court. Now, let me read the other two questions that are similar to that. The first one reads, near the end of the fourth quarter with the score tied, A1's try for goal in the corner is released near the expiration of time on the game clock. Time expires near the time the ball enters the basket. The try is successful. The officials use the available replay system and determined that the try was released before zeros on the game clock, but the last foot of the shooter was touching out of bounds with 0.7 seconds on the game clock before the foot left the floor. However, when the ball passed through the basket, 0.1 seconds was remaining in the quarter. Which of the following statements is true? And the reason why we can't utilize replay to cancel this basket is because we still have time on the clock. That to be zeros before we can go to replay to determine if the player's foot is out of bounds.
Yeah, but it says earlier on in the question that there is zeros.
Mm-hmm.
So then we go to replay.
And we noticed that when we went to replay, there's 0.1 on the clock when the ball cleared the net.
Okay.
So we're going to put 0.1 back on the clock. And now we cannot adjudicate that the player was stepped out of bounds.
It has to stay at zeros.
It has to be zeros. There could be no time left on the clock.
When the
Okay. So on this one, we cannot penalize, goal counts, play resumes.
And they can advance the ball.
Well, considering it's a score is tied and score counts, it's a ball game.
Yeah. Because there was that one, and then there was one more.
Correct.
I have a different question.
Okay.
Yeah, I've also got a couple more on that.
And I'm gonna read the.
I'll read the other one if you want.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, so here's the third one on that same scenario, or almost same scenario. Near the end of the fourth quarter, with the score tied, A1's try for goal in the corner is released near the expiration of time on the game clock. Time expires while the try is in flight, and before it enters the basket, the try is successful. The officials use the available replay system to determine that the try was released before zeros on the game clock and observed the right foot of the shooter touched out of bounds with 0.4 seconds on the game clock, but then touched the playing court before A1 lifted the right foot to shoot with 0.2 seconds on the game clock, with the right foot being the last foot in contact with the floor. Which of the following statements are true? Officials cannot penalize the out of bounds violation. The goal counts. Team A wins the game. The officials cancel the goal. Play continues with overtime. Officials cancel the goal. Play resumes with the throw-in. Team B designated spot where A1 was out of bounds. Game clock is set to 0.4 seconds. The officials cancel the goal. Play resumes with a throw-in by Team B from the designated spot where A1 was out of bounds. The game clock is set to 0.2 seconds. But because they were out and the last foot touched in, you can no longer adjudicate the out of bounds, correct?
That is correct.
Penalize out of bounds. So the officials cannot penalize the out of bounds. The goal counts. Team A wins the game.
That is correct. Do we know
What's
why?
the reference for that?
Oh,
I
yeah,
think I understand it, but I thought I found one that supported it as well, but it may be because of this discussion.
right. I have Rule 11, Section 2, Article 1A1. And the rationale behind, well, first of all, let me back up, give you a little background. On the women's side, we've never had this play. They've had this play on the men's side, and so they instituted the rule. And since they instituted, we also adopted the rule just in case anyone has this situation. And the purpose of the rule is we're not, and there was also a couple of plays over the last couple of seasons where officials attempted to use replay to adjudicate whether a player is out of bounds or not. And it's not an allowable use of replay. And like in this situation, we're not adjudicating if the player is out of bounds. What we are looking at is that were they out of bounds when they released the ball on their try? Because if they're out of bounds when they release the ball on the try, then it's not a legal attempt. So we can't count the basket. But if they're out of bounds and then they step in bounds, that's just a missed call. We missed it. So when they released the ball, they were in bounds. So it is
But
illegal.
if they're out of bounds when the try is released, but there's still time on the game clock when the ball goes through the net, we also can't call that, right?
Correct. That is correct. We can't even go to replay.
Well, you could go to replay because like the other one we were talking about, there's zeros on the game clock. We go to replay, determine that there still should be 0.1, which is enough for a tip or tap, you know? I mean,
Correct.
yeah, what?
Right.
But we can't penalize the out of bounds because we determined during replay that there was still 0.1.
Yeah, there's time on the clock. Correct. That is
If the
correct.
goal is successful and there is time remaining on the game clock, this review is not permissible.
Boom. There it is. Yep. See, and Matthew's he's eating pasta,
Uh-huh.
not knowing how hungry we might be.
That's my fault, but I'm gonna keep eating it.
You gonna keep
I mean,
eating. I don't
Brussels
blame you.
sprouts, you can tell who's bigger.
There you go. Hey, growing man, young man like you, yes, you need your energy. All right, that's good. That's good. Okay. Let's see. Matthew, do you have another question that we should review?
Yeah, I'm looking at another one of these, 0.2 foot out of bounds questions.
Okay.
So mine says, let me read it first before. Okay, so near the end of the fourth quarter, with the score tied, A1's try for goal in the corner is released near the expiration of time on the game clock. Time expires while the try is in flight, but before it enters the time expires while the try was in flight and before it enters the basket. The try is successful. The officials use available replay system to determine the try was released before zeros on the game clock, but the last foot of the shooter was touched out of bounds with 0.2 seconds on the game clock before the foot left the floor. Which of the following statements is true? So this is the only one where we would actually rule out of bounds.
Correct.
Okay.
And the answer would be,
I haven't read through those yet.
okay, the answer would be C.
Mhm.
Officials cancel the goal, resume with 0.2 on the clock from a designated spot, and they can advance the
Read the
ball.
whole answer.
Oh, I'm paraphrasing here. The
Yes.
officials cancel the goal. Play resumes with a throw in by Team B from a designated spot where A1 was out of bounds. The game clock is set to 0.2. Team B may use a timeout to advance the ball to either 28-foot spot in the front court.
There you go. Exactly.
Okay, so if the time was not there. There's no time. When the flight was in, time expired, we can cancel the goal. But we still have the time left. We cannot do anything. That's
Correct.
the difference is,
Correct.
right?
That is correct.
Are they gonna add more verbiage to clarify this in the coming year?
I really, really hope so.
Wishful thinking.
I really, really hope so. I do.
Because, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. If I didn't come to this study group, I would have messed this one up. I just
That's all right, Matt. We're still gonna mess it up, and we're sitting in the study group.
there's
First
so
thing
many
we gotta
what
know
ifs.
is how much
Right.
time's on the clock when the ball clears the
Mhm.
net.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be the key.
Yeah.
That's the key.
If it's 0.1 or greater, nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters. We can't. Nope. We can't even look at it.
Can't do nothing.
Correct. I like
I'm
it.
saying that now, but then when bullets are flying, I'm gonna be like, hey, let's
I know.
review it.
Yep.
Let's go.
Well,
Someone's gonna have to be like, Justin, we can't review that. And I'll be like, are you sure?
It's gonna be Matthew.
it's gonna. Yeah. If we look up at the clock and we see 0.1 and they say let's go review, we're gonna be like,
Yeah.
Yep.
Wayne during Wayne's study session on
That's right.
10/20, we went through this thoroughly.
Thoroughly. We know we cannot review this play.
We know we are supremely confident we cannot go review this play.
Exactly.
The only hard part's gonna be explaining that to a coach who's probably had it go against them earlier in the year.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Oh,
he
that's
haven't
gonna
read the
be
rule.
fun.
He haven't read the rule either.
Correct.
That's gonna be so much fun. Well, and then you got to admit that you might have just blown the call because you didn't see the out of bounds. I mean, that's part of it too.
Well,
We're gonna
no,
keep
you-
that
you-
all to ourselves.
No, you are going to admit. Yes, yes. Yes, she stepped out of bounds, but we missed it.
Mhm.
All right. TC, do you have another question for us to review?
Sure. Hold on. Okay, I'm kind of confused. Maybe I'm not reading right. The crew chief is the official responsible for inspecting and approving player uniforms, game equipment, baskets and balls, backboards, and all electronic equipment used by timers, operation scores. Is this correct? And the CCA manual, I believe, is the no, which one was it? Rule book? I forgot. Is this a collaboration of three of us supposed to do, or this is the crew chief's responsibility?
I have a
I
rule
did-
reference of Rule 2, Section 5, Article 1.
It says referee, right?
Right?
So this referee means all of us, not like a referee and umpires fine too. That may be my confusion.
Okay.
Because I read down was the referee, not referees. So, okay,
The
means
referee.
crew chief. The
No,
crew chief's gonna do it.
no.
In the CCA, it says the R. It
Mhm.
Right.
doesn't actually say referee.
The referee, correct?
So I feel like that would clarify it because it doesn't.
Yeah,
Nobody
so
else
that's
would be the R.
so rule book said the referee means
Yeah. 'Cause
all of us.
the said
No.
Now-
officials.
If it's all of us, it would say officials. If it says referee, you have a referee, you have umpire 1, umpire 2.
So
Matt, what page was yours on in the in the manual?
44.
44.
It's 3.14 D1.
I have too many books here. I've been doing this too long.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
because I had the same thought as you
Yeah.
did, because when you look in the officials, it says the officials. But
Right.
then but he's right, on page 44 it does says the R will inspect the court and all facility equipment and
Mhm.
continues on.
Right?
So that means this answer is yes,
The answer is
Mhm.
no.
No.
This
but the
is
answer is no.
Right, and this is another one of those questions similar to Matthew's first question.
Semantics.
We're using verbiage that doesn't apply to our game.
That's the only reason? The crew chief? That's the reason?
Correct.
Oh
The
Correct.
my
crew chief.
goodness.
Mm-hmm.
So
Correct.
Because it's a
really,
football term.
or NBA term or whatever it can.
Right.
So that's why the reason is, I mean, the answer is no,
That is
because
correct.
they use the crew chief, not the
That is
referee.
correct.
Okay, that's what I'm good there. That
So we all got to the right reason. We got to the right answer for the wrong reasons.
There
right,
you
right, right.
go.
That's what happened.
Yeah,
Mhm.
because they say R, that means crew chief, and why it's not yes, because R is not a crew chief. R is R.
Or
And
is the
our
referee.
thing.
Correct.
I'm gonna put my blue highlighted R. So I'm good. Thank you.
And let's also understand the reasons why behind the questions and the way that they're structured. It is to influence us to use the correct terminology
The
and
right term.
verbiage. Because as officials, we have a tendency to incorporate verbiage that doesn't fit our game.
Like slot.
Or people say the slot position,
Uh-huh.
which we don't have that position in our game. It's the center or the C. And we have all these terms that are migrating into our game that don't apply. And eventually, one of us is going to get in trouble by using the wrong verbiage with the wrong person. So it's just a matter of getting us to pay attention to details. Crew chief versus referee.
Okay.
Details. Love
Hey,
it.
Blaine.
Yes.
Also on that same question, yeah, the verbiage I get to, but when it says, are we supposed to do all that when we get to the facility and not 15 minutes before?
Great question, because I have that question on my test.
Okay, 'cause
Yeah.
I was like, we're not gonna do it 15 minutes before the game. We're gonna do it.
Mhm.
We're supposed to when we get
When
to
I
the
applied,
facility,
yeah.
right?
When we get there, right?
When you
In
arrive at
the
the facility.
yeah, in the same CCA statement, it
Mhm.
says evaluated upon arrival at
Right.
facility.
Yeah.
There
True.
you go.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
Good question, Sharice.
I've been reading my manual.
All right, Sharice, do you have a question for us you need us to review?
There was one in particular. Back to, I think it's question 10 on the test. No, we already answered because we answered all three of the last foot questions, right? We can't rule those. We can't review those. I think we may have covered all the ones I had questions about, all those main ones.
Okay, all right, that's cool. Cool. James Edgar, are you driving or are you at home relaxing?
I am at home, sir. However,
Excellent.
I am multitasking with family.
Oh, let's want to tell everybody we say hello.
Hi, Jane.
How are you feeling, man?
I am doing great, actually. I just got done with sort of like a family workout. So they've kind of been dragging me around the park and stuff, and we've been climbing hills and stuff like that, just trying to get ready.
Okay, that's good, man. I'm good. I'm glad you're progressing, man. That's excellent. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining us, man.
yeah, I appreciate you. You asking too. Thank you.
All right. Justin Gregory, do you have another question that we should review? That's okay. Take your time. Drink some water.
We're good. There was
Hey.
one. Let me find it.
Okay, well, can I do a easy one while Justin is looking for
Yeah.
his?
Sure.
I will always lead to your primary.
Well, in this one, so the one about at least one scoreboard in the facility must show the team's foul count.
Mm-hmm.
I can't
So
find it.
I could not find it specifically to the foul count.
I couldn't either.
I found them in regarding to the scoreboard and malfunctions and all that, but
Right.
sticking to our using the right terms,
Yes.
I found nothing that told me I had to see the foul count on a scoreboard.
Correct.
So my answer was no, because they deal with malfunctions, but they don't ever deal with anything that's specific to the team foul count.
Correct. And if we can't find it,
Okay.
there you go.
Hey,
The
so
answer
on
is-
that one,
Mhm.
I also put no, but I did find where the person keeping the book is supposed to relay when we go to the bonus.
Right.
So that's why I actually put no. Is because it says that they're supposed to do it and it doesn't say anything about the scoreboard doing it.
Correct. Because by procedure, the scorer notifies us when we reach the bonus.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, the scoreboard is a tool that we utilize. It's a luxury, but we don't have to have it. That's why the answer is no. Yes, ma'am, TC.
Okay, another one. I just need a clarification.
Okay.
When a player is in the air from a leap, or when a defensive player intercepts the ball while in the air, the player's status with reference to these two situations shall be the same as at the time the player was last in contact with the floor, or extension of the floor, such as a bleacher. Is this correct? I was thinking that, let's say, the player was in the front court, jumping to catch the ball to the front, the back court,
Right.
that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So that case, her status is front court status, catch the ball and, caught the ball and jump into the backcourt. It's backcourt violation if it's like the pass from the backcourt, right?
Right.
So for that essence, I thought the answer was yes, but I don't think so. So I really don't. I just need somebody to clarify for this question.
Okay. Does anyone have a rule reference before I get started?
I'm sorry. Can she repeat at least the beginning of that question so I can find it on my
When
text?
a player is in the air from a leap,
When a player's in the air?
it's in the air from a leap, or when a defensive player intercepts the ball.
I have a rule reference. I didn't write it down, but I found it.
Go ahead.
Yours rule-
7.1.1.
7.1.1. So let me take a look at it.
It's the last sentence.
I want to place in the air. Okay.
A player shall be out of bounds when they touch the floor or any object other than a person on or outside a boundary line. An airborne player's status shall be where they were last in contact with the floor. Didn't say anything about extension of the floor,
Oh,
bleachers, concession stand. Last in contact with the floor.
Huh.
And let me check something else real quick. Da, 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 da.
It also on the next one on 7.1.2, it says, well, it says the ball. The ball should be out of bounds when it touches a player who is out of bounds, any other person, the floor, or any object on or outside the boundary line. the supports of the backboard, or the ceiling or overhead equipment.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, that would be the extension of the floor.
Oh, if you could take the back of the backboard extension and have it connected to a pole and then have it connected to the floor, possibly.
Well, it just says the floor or any object on or outside a boundary,
Right,
which
on or outside the boundary,
would be a bleacher.
which could be a bleacher.
So if
And
I leaped
also
from the bleacher, then
You-
my status would be the bleacher.
would be the bleacher, you still be out of bounds, right? And that's the same as the location for a player in Rule 4.
Yeah. Is that the you are where you are until you get where you're going?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
That's what we always use it to make it easier. You are where you are until you get where you're going. If you're
You get where
jumping
you're
out of
going.
bounds, you're out of bounds till you touch in. If you're jumping from the back court, you're in the back court till you touch the front.
Correct, and vice versa. That is correct. It's another good question. I like it.
I've got one that y'all can't laugh at, but these always trip me up. It's
I promise not to laugh, Justin.
only
loud?
when a game participant is assessed a disqualifying foul for disrespectfully contacting an official or threatening physical intimidation or harm to an official is
Mhm.
the offender suspended for their institution's next contest. Is this correct? And I say no, because fighting, you're
Oh,
suspended.
no.
Exactly.
Isn't that a
Okay.
new one?
Isn't that the
Yes.
new one?
Yeah, I
Yes.
think that's the new one.
But
Yes.
the only when
The
is
key-
what the always or only always.
Yes,
Well, if you're fighting, you're going to be suspended from the next contest. So
correct.
you are in this case as well. But
And the key is whenever they use absolutes,
Yeah.
that's when it catches my attention. And you're right, that is the new rule, but that's not the only time you can be suspended for a game. Correct.
Well, and this one to me is not, this one to me is the one we stay away from because we're not making that call.
Correct.
right,
What was the start of that question? Well, how does it start?
only when a game participant is assessed a disqualifying foul for disrespectfully contacting an official or threatening physical intimidation or harm to an official, is the offender suspended from their institution's next contest? Is
I
this
got you.
correct?
Right. And I have a rule reference for you, Rule 10, Section 15, Article 10.
Hey Wayne, to go back to your you are where you are until you get where you're going. I see what
Mhm.
you're saying about the location of the player in Rule
Yes,
4 because it's kind of word for word.
word for word, yeah.
I understand your point.
There you go.
Oh, and I have one more too.
Sure, go ahead, Sharice.
So I know sometimes John likes to trip us up on the wording that he uses in tests compared to the rule book.
Mhm.
And so it's the one that talks about the penalty. The penalty is reached when a team has committed 5 fouls in a quarter. Is this correct? And so I have a reference of 8.21 and 4.21.1 because there's between like we're going to reach the bonus when they get the 5 team fouls, correct?
That is
And
correct.
so when I think of bonus, penalty and bonus are two different things to me. Like we're penalizing a player or penalizing a team for doing something they shouldn't be doing according to the rules. But bonus is when we're awarding a team or a player for reaching that 15 foul.
Correct. So in essence, we don't reach a penalty, we reach the
Bonus.
correct.
So I
Yeah.
have no.
Yes, and you're right. It is about correct use of verbiage.
No. It seemed like an easy question. I was just like, let me just ask somebody.
No, you're not the one who had that question.
Jeez, John. Okay.
No, that's a really good question. All right, let's see. Mickey, do you have another question that we need to review?
sec. I'm looking.
Hmm.
Hey, Wayne, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Eloy.
This is Elo. I'm traveling with a bunch of hay in the back. In going through the rules, I don't know if I'm messing up the format. There was one question, I think in the 60s. Which of the following is true? And it listed a bunch of them. And I recall one of them said if player A1 and A2 commit fighting acts against each other,
Right.
you toss them out, and I remember us doing that down at Eastern. If you remember Eastern
I
a few years.
remember that. I remember that. Yes.
Okay, but if you can go, if it's okay with the format and the respect of the fellow wonderful officials that are on the call, I think there's a bunch of entries. Which one is true? That would help out a little bit just to kind of
Sure.
go over that.
Yeah.
Thank you. If not, no worries.
Yep. Let me go over that, Tamika. We'll come back to your question.
Go right ahead.
Okay.
Oh no, you can go ahead. I'm still looking for mine, so keep going. Take
Which
care,
of the-
Elois.
Which of the following is true? And there's a list of items, and I will read each one of them independently. When a confrontation occurs involving one or more players, coaches, or other team personnel where a fist, hand, arm, foot, knee, leg, etc. is used to strike the other individual combatively, this individual has committed a fighting act and shall be assessed a disqualifying foul. That's A. B. To rule a fight, the individual doesn't need to make contact with another person. C. When an individual uses unsporting acts or comments that, in the official's judgment, provoke another to retaliate by fighting, it shall be ruled that both individuals have been in a fight. D. When, during the course of play, an individual strikes an opponent with the hand, elbow, arm, foot, knee, etc., in a non-confrontational manner, and the act is not only excessive but severe or extreme, the individual has committed a disqualifying foul only. Not a fight, but only disqualifying foul. E. When a hand, elbow, arm, foot, knee, etc. is used to strike an opponent, but the contact is not severe or extreme, the official shall make a judgment as to whether the contact is an intentional foul. F. If A1 and A2, and this is Eloy's situation at Eastern, if A1 and A2 commit fighting acts against each other, both players shall be assessed disqualifying fouls, ejected, and subject to the suspension rule for fighting. G. If A1 and A2 commit a fighting act against each other, this is not a fight. It's just a disagreement. But the players are assessed disqualifying fouls and ejected. And H. If A1 and A2 commit fighting acts against each other, there is no penalty because they are teammates. On that question, the correct answers are A through F. A, B, C, D, E, and F. All of those are correct. In G and H, even though they may be teammates, and if they're fighting, they are still disqualified for fighting. And yes, this has happened, as Eloy mentioned. It happened at Murray State during warm-ups. Warm-ups, I know, right? So yes, these things can happen.
So what did y'all technically disqualify them for if it wasn't a fight?
It was fighting.
Well, you said G.
G is not correct. G and H
Right, but it
is
says
correct.
this is not a fight, but the players are assessed disqualifying fouls.
Right. The correct answer is this is a fight.
Yeah, we called it a fight. I remember that. We call it a fight, and they both win. coach said, but they're teammates. They argue all the time. Sorry, coach, it's a fight.
Still a fight.
Okay, that I'm with.
Yes.
Maybe one of my answers is not. Okay.
Yeah, and it was it's stating that they're still there's still disqualifying fouls and ejected. It's just saying that they are not fighting. That's why it's incorrect.
Because it says in
But
the
it-
in the suspensions for fighting, it says a confrontation involving one or more players, coaches, or other team personnel. So like even if you had a
Mhm.
player and a trainer go blow for blow,
It's
it would still be a fight.
Right.
Yes, that is correct.
I guess that's where I got confused on G, because to me that's still a fight, and just because they're teammates doesn't make it not a fight.
Correct. You're 100% correct.
Okay.
That's why F is stating exactly what you're stating. Because A1 and A2 are teammates, commit fighting acts against each other.
Right. That one I'm with you on.
Right. In
But
G, it takes
because
out.
this is considered a fight.
Right, correct.
Okay. I got you. Okay.
There you go.
Got you.
That is good. All right. And Mickey, you had a question?
Let's see. Yeah, I think we covered that one, because I
Okay.
think that's the one we started with on Justin's. So I think I got that one.
Excellent.
That was everybody in the Mark Lane spaces and multiple. Okay. Hang on, let me check.
Okay, good. All right, here's what we're gonna do. Because I've run out of time, we're going to send everybody our spreadsheet with the rule references, everyone on this call with the rule references and our selected answers. Okay, so you can compare them to your own and then do the research.
Cool.
All right.
I think Wayne, I appreciate that, because I want to see how you sorted it, like how you put it together and sorted it so it can make it easier. Because
Yes.
I did it in the document form, and it worked, but it might not have been the most efficient.
Right, because it's harder to move text, move information
Yeah.
around.
Yep.
Okay, so
Okay.
yes, I'll do that tonight. I'll send each of you our spreadsheet so you can compare it against yours with our rule references.
Is it Google? Is it Sheets, or is it Excel?
It's gonna be Excel.
Okay.
Yes.
Because it determines which computer I need to open it up on.
Right.
Thank
Because I
you.
have it in both. I have it in Drive, and it would be easier just to give everybody access to it, but also know that sometimes Sheets doesn't operate correctly on everybody's
Okay.
platforms.
Okay.
Yep. So I'll send everybody the Excel form. Okay. All right. Any questions before we break for the evening?
Nope. Just a big thank you for
Yeah, thank you, man.
everybody's patience, participation, and expertise.
Oh, come on.
So it
You
was a
got-
very nice, safe environment for everybody to come ask their questions.
That's right. You're 100% correct. And each one of you gonna be in a position this season to have the answer that you need when you need it.
That's all right, because Matthew, when we get to that question, we calling you.
That's
Matthew,
right.
there was no time on the clock.
That is
I just
correct.
pray that nobody has that situation. That's such an oddball.
Man, whoever wrote this rule, like, really?
Really.
Hey, if we just call
Like,
the out of
really?
bounds, it doesn't
It's so-
matter.
Well, that, or
Mickey,
if you just give me
Yeah.
a blanket rule. Don't just give me a rule.
give me a
Give me a
rule.
Yeah.
rule. Just give me one rule. Don't give me options for the rule. Give me a rule.
Feel the same way as
There it
Matthew,
is.
like we missed the out of bounds violation somewhere. Now we gotta go to all this gray area.
Hmm.
Hey, if that comes up, we're probably getting in trouble. That's what's happening.
Yeah, somebody's getting a phone call.
Hey, get the out of bounds
Be
right.
like,
Don't worry about
Yeah.
be
it.
like, I need to phone a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.